Hi, this is raw, uncut Yannick. I'm not giving any advice in this video. I am not teaching anything. I'm just sharing from my open heart a process I'm in at the moment. As I wrote in the first post I made, I want to make myself more visible. I wish to share the experiences I have made along my way with others, and I think for that it's necessary that other people know about it. It's the last 2 days in Germany. I really struggled yesterday. I was flooded by fears. I want to start with, maybe one of the big processes and then go more into details. The biggest process cycle I'm in at the moment stands under the title self-responsibility, full self-responsibility, and in that building a financial foundation for myself and for my future family. I have still not completely found my way back into this world after a near-death experience, and sometimes I'm really struggling. For many people I often appear like this sunny boy. For some I appeared like a fuckboy. For some I appear like someone who's always carrying a mask. And yes, all of that is what I am. And so much more. I'm very vulnerable this year. Carlotta and I, my partner, we were in a community, and I was really confronted with my trust issue. Because I have huge issues with trust because of the life experiences I have made before. And it caused stress. It caused that everything I tried to share with the group came out in a too emotional way, in an aggressive way, and just in the wrong way. At some point that also influenced my relationship to my partner. And at some point she said to me, Yannick, you have to give trust. You have to give trust first. I felt the influence on my relationship, and that, I don't know, that gave me the power to make that step. So I sat down in 2 different emotional circles and I just shared what was going on inside me. That I'm often confronted with an incredible fear of loss, which then just takes over me. So that is one process of the beginning of the year. From that point on, after I shared myself in these circles, I could feel how my heart was more open. So thank you to my partner for helping me opening my heart again to people I don't know. I can share my heart with those I love, and I have built a trust relationship, but until then it was really hard for me to share what going on inside me with people where, I don't know, I had a diffuse, subtle feeling of I cannot trust. And I will not go into this feeling in this video, but I can maybe at some point share more about this. At some point we left that community and we left behind the idea of building a community because we realized we have to first build our financial foundation. Okay, what I want to add here is, in the community we were in, our relationship suffered quite a lot, and we felt like we have to be separate for a bit to come back to ourselves. That's when I planned my stay in Germany and I booked the flights. That is the next big process, coming back to Germany, being here in the house of my parents, with my parents, seeing the place I grew up in, and I made so many experiences, dark and bright. Seeing some old people or people from that time before I left, and just being here and seeing how that feels. That's another big process I'm in right now, and I think I'm mastering it well. I have peace with my parents. I made peace with my brother, who I hadn't talked to in years. I made peace with his girlfriend. Another process, I stopped smoking when I came to Germany. I decided to just use the flight and then not take any more cigarettes. Before that I had reduced it to 1 or 2 a day. And I was capable of keeping that up for some days. And then I was going to Berlin, and on my way to Berlin there was this guy at the Hamburg train station, and he just wanted to talk to me. I was sitting there because I was too early, and then we started talking, and at some point he took out his box of cigarettes, and it was a pack of Gauloises, which reminded me of the first cigarettes I smoked in my life. So I saw that as a kind of sign, hey, the first and the last one. So I took a cigarette from him because he offered one, and I smoked that cigarette with him. And when I wanted to leave, he opened his box and he said, here, I'm just giving you 5 cigarettes, you can have them. And I wasn't disciplined. I took those cigarettes and I smoked them in the next days in Berlin. And when I came back from Berlin, then I was seeing my brother and his girlfriend, and she was, we were having long conversations, and they were both smoking, so I was again not disciplined and I smoked. And that went on to this weekend. On Saturday, I think my brother's girlfriend was a little bit annoyed that I was sometimes coming to get a cigarette, maybe 1 time a day. And so she gave me the rest of her tobacco pouch, which were maybe 4 or 5 cigarettes. And on Saturday I was kind of stressed because of the posts I made, and I smoked all the cigarettes. And then came Sunday. Yesterday, I felt small. I was flooded with fears. My heart was beating like the one of a rabbit. I couldn't calm down. At some point I was crying. It was so intense. All that, brought me to a lot of realizations. I did never arrive anywhere. I have experienced meditative states. I could even for a while live in them, or in a meditative state, in full presence. But I was living alone and I was kind of like a hermit. So it was kind of just a training environment. And I feel like I'm back at the beginning. So I started reading a book of Osho called Meditation, The First and Last Freedom. And that made me realize I'm not there anymore. I feel like I'm back at the beginning, just with a little bit more experience. And I have of the experience what it is, the meditative state or process. So I kind of shot myself in my own leg with the smoking, because that really decreased my self-confidence and my faith in myself, because I was just not being disciplined as I decided to. Then I was confronted with fear of loss, because sometimes when I feel like this, then I feel like I'm not lovable, and then I fear that my partner sees it the same way. So this is honestly what I wanted to share with you, just to make myself more visible. Thank you. My consciousness brings me back to this last thing I wanted to add. I wrote in the first post, and I made that decision before with myself, that I would now start making myself more visible. And then I recognized that I was not really making myself more visible, because I was just posting pictures and words. So when I was on a walk, just before I came back to make this video, there I realized, hey, you're tricking yourself again by not making it a video. So now go and make the video. Show your face, be visible, let people hear when your voice starts trembling because you nearly start crying. Just show yourself fully. And that's what I'm doing here. Thank you, everyone.